Greetings, it's your friendly neighborhood Zen Priest here. And you know, I'm gonna be honest with you. Sometimes I feel sad.
They ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it.
And when I feel like that, what I really need is some motivation, some inspiration, you know? And nothing helps more than seeing one of those motivational posters with a cat hanging from a tree. It really speaks to my inner core. But you know, when I'm feeling really depressed, that won't help either. I don't think that any human inspiration can help at those points. What I really need is some AI inspiration. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to check out a website called InspiroBot. And I know that you're asking right now, what is InspiroBot? Well, according to InspiroBot, him or herself, or whatever pronoun he or she or whatever, it says that I am an artificial intelligence dedicated to generating unlimited amounts of unique inspirational quotes for endless enrichment of the pointless human existence. And isn't that exactly what this YouTube channel is all about? Trying to find meaning in the meaningless. And I should let you know that these are like randomly generated, so I haven't seen this before. Maybe this will be fun, maybe it will be racist, who knows. Let's just see what this AI think is mindful and helpful and inspirational. This first one might be a bit hard to read, but it says, if you will not lose your mind, someone else will. Wow, that is deep. Sometimes people say that you have to go mad in order to understand this world that we're living in. There's a Swedish band called The and they have a song called It Takes a Fool to Remain Sane. And I I can see some shades of that in this post, you know? They're talking about if you don't go mad or lose your mind, so to speak, someone else will. And maybe that's correct. If you can't like push the limit in some certain ways and try to go out of your comfort zone, then that might affect other people. You might push someone else to madness because you are not acting in a proper way. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Alright, so this says, genes cannot create darkness. That's a bold statement. From a glance, I would say that this says that you can't blame your own failures or your own shortcomings on your genetics or your birth or your parents and all of that. You have to take responsibility for your own actions and whatever you are putting out in the world. That's up to you. You can't blame that on anything you're born with. Whether or not I agree with that, that's a different case altogether, but that's what I can read from this. Phew. Let's take another one. Can you picture how it would be if cats and dogs started consulting the lower classes? No, I can't. Play with the stored up potential of time. Alright, so first we have to dissect this one and define what stored up potential of time means. Alright, so bear with me here. Okay, the stored up potential of time. Time is not a constant, so whatever is stored up in time is also not a constant, since that is dependent on time, which means that x equals y here, or that x is both larger or not. I have no idea. Let's take another one. Alright, so this one says that if you are lost in the picture, you have won the picture. This is deep, this is good, this is a good one. You know, in Taoism, they talk about the concept of Wu Wei. I'm not pronouncing that correct, probably, but basically what that means is the path of least resistance. That's a bad translation, but I see a lot of text using that, so we're gonna go with that for now. It's being in the moment, it's going with the flow, and when you are part of the flow, you know, if you're dancing or listening to music, doing Tai Chi, if you're meditating, of course, whatever it is you're doing, if you're lost in that moment, in that process, you become the process as well. So I think that's what they're talking about here, that if you're lost in the picture, you have won the picture. So yeah, that's how you can see this, being lost in the process. Alright, so this one says, ooh, this is dark. Pets are weaklings. So what does this mean? It's basically the concept of slave mentality, you know. It's quite Nietzschean in that way. It's talking about the Übermensch and the Untermensch. Basically what it's saying is that if you are owned by someone else, then you are not in control. And even if you're owned by yourself, then you're not in control. And that's what's most important here. It's not only talking about, you know, other people, if they control your thoughts and actions, that makes you their slave. It's also talking about if you are not in control of your own thoughts and your own actions, then you're a slave. Shakyamuni Buddha said that we shouldn't be impressed by someone who can control a herd of elephants. We should be impressed by someone who can control a herd of elephants within their mind, basically their rushing thoughts. A person who can control them, that's the real master, that's the real Übermensch. Yeah, I like this one. Quit crap, get high. Well, let's be mindful of the 5th precept here. Don't do intoxications. It doesn't matter how many mushroom high people there are telling you that it's good for expanding your mind. It's not. It's not. Is respect the challenge of our time? The last perhaps 10 years or so, there's been a lot of debate in the freedom of speech versus social justice and all of that. And, you know, basically that can be boiled down to respecting emotions, over respecting feelings, over respecting facts, and all of that. So perhaps respect is the challenge of our time. Jag är Sander Fredrik.
Hallå Fredrik, mitt namn är Adam, vad ringer du till Telenor?
Respect, a bolt of lightning. How are we going to turn this into something related to Buddhism and mindfulness? Alright, awakening or enlightenment is sometimes seen as or rather described as a flash of lightning. Something just strikes up in your mind and suddenly you have this awakening experience, or whatever you want to call it. When those moments happen, let's just respect them and be mindful of them. Do not cling to them, do not try to make them your own, or try to, be possessive of them. Just respect them and let them be. That's beautiful. That's one smart kitty. If we all work together, we can make one-night stands disappear. I don't care if you want to have a one-night stand, just go out and have one. As long as it's consensual between two grown adults, what do I care? Just try to not hurt each other, okay? You know, respect is the whatever it was of our day, you know? Somebody should feel good about themselves. You can be that someone. This might seem a bit egotistical, but I think that's a good point, really. When we're doing all of this mindfulness stuff and all of that, and trying to be compassionate, we talk a lot about compassion within Buddhism. Those of us who grew up in a Western society with a sort of a Christian model of how to be a good person, we're often talking about repressing ourselves and helping everyone, and helping everybody else. But you should feel good about yourself as well. You know, it's that old saying that if you can't swim, you can't keep anyone else from drowning. If you jump into the water, you'll drown as well. So yeah, take care of yourself. That's important. Good post. Sit on a rock on top of a mountain and look at some fog or whatever that is. People's brains end when glory holes begin. I have encountered glory holes in my days. I've been to some shady places. But hey, I don't judge. I won't say that people are brainless just because they interact with a glory hole, something like that. Hey, just act responsibly, with respect. Somebody should do their job. You can be that someone. Step up to the streets. Step up 3. Just step up, man. Tears begin when other people's bodies end. If we're talking about when a person dies, then sure, Tears might be shed at such an occasion. A lot of us do get sad when people we know and love dies. And we might even get sad when our own body ends, you know? We go from having the body of a child to having the body of a teen to a young adult, an adult, and then we get to old. So yeah, that might be sad as well. Is esports the problem of our time? Do video games cause violence? No, responsibility is just opium fooling itself. Alright, okay, so hear me out here. Sometimes we get so hung up in having some sort of responsibility and therefore some sort of meaning to our lives, some sort of importance to ourselves and others, that we get attached to it. It becomes like a drug to us, like opium. I've certainly felt that as a parent. When I had my daughter, I suddenly felt a surge of meaning, you know? Suddenly there was someone relying on me. But I know that one day, when she grows up, she won't need me anymore. If I hang on to that drug too much, that responsibility, then I will, you know, become a junkie or something like that. I mean, this isn't the best simile ever formed, but you know what I'm talking about, right? Alright, speaking about children, don't ruin your relationship with your children because of your Facebook friends. So basically, social media is an
anti-social network.
Follow the masculinity, not the rainbow. Good thing it's not Pride Month, I guess. Always enjoy change. Now, as we know, everything is constantly changing. Everything is impermanent, without a fixed self, and continuously in a state of transformation and decay. That applies to everything, whatever we're talking about. Everything that exists are subject to those facts. So why not just enjoy it? Why not just, you know, be a lighthouse in the middle of an ocean, just shining a light out there, while the salty water slowly erodes your metal body. Yeah. Realizing the full potential of pain generates media attention. Yeah, that's certainly true. There's a lot of people using their suffering in order to get attention, not only by the media but by people around them. You know, they have this messiah complex or something like that. In Swedish we call it offerkofta, which basically means that you put on a sweater that's sticky and itchy and you don't like it, but you put it on and then you complain about it only to have something to complain about. That's called an offerkofta. And that's where we're going to end it today, I think. This has been quite fun. It's quite interesting to see what an AI, I think, inspiration is. So if you want to check this thing out yourself, I'll leave the link in the description, of course. And while you're at it, while you're down there poking around, why don't you leave a like and, you know, subscribe, hit the bell and all those things, you know what to do. And leave a comment if you think that anything of this was inspirational, or if you have perhaps a different take on any of these ones. It will be really interesting to learn what you think these meant. So yeah, until next time, cheerios.